Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. This week, I've traveled to the Comer's Rock Cemetery in the Elk Creek community of rural Grayson County, Virginia. The Comer's Rock Cemetery is a rather small community cemetery that is out in the country, surrounded by just a few houses, beautiful rolling hills, and some very nice farms. I've come here to visit the grave of a NASCAR personality who was not only a driver, but a championship crew chief, and later a respected car builder. If you're a fan of NASCAR, you probably remember the name of Dick Hutcherson. Richard Leon Dick Hutcherson was born in Keokuk, Iowa, on November 30th, 1931. Keokuk was known as the home of champions because drivers like Ernie Durr, Don White, and Ramo Scott all hail from that area, and Dick raced against them all on the tracks throughout the Midwest. Dick started his racing career in 1956 and quickly moved up to the IMCA circuit in 1959. Almost instantly, Dick made a name for himself, capturing a total of 81 wins and back-to-back IMCA championships in 1963 and 1964. While racing in the Midwest, Dick kept hearing about the large purses that was being offered by NASCAR. So, in 1964, Dick headed south to compete on the NASCAR Grand National Circuit. On March 28, 1964, Dick entered his first NASCAR Grand National event at the Greenville-Pickens Speedway near Greenville, South Carolina. He surprised everybody by winning the pole and leading the first 60 laps. But his chance to win ended with a broken lug nut, sent him to the pits at lap 109. That first race drew the attention of a number of NASCAR notables, including John Holman and Ralph Moody. And in 1965, Dick climbed into the Holman-Moody car number 29. He went on to have a very good season that year and would have been NASCAR's Grand National Rookie of the Year, but he was ruled ineligible because of his past IMCA championships. Dick also came close to winning the NASCAR Grand National Championship in his first full season, finishing second to Ned Jarrett. And from 1965 to 1967, Dick made 103 starts for Holman-Moody and found victory lane 14 times. With a total of 22 poles and 14 wins between 1964 and 1968, Dick suddenly retired from NASCAR Grand National competition so that he could concentrate on his new chassis building business that he had started in Charlotte, North Carolina. He also became the crew chief for his close friend David Pearson. And in 1968 and in 1969, with Dick Hutcherson as his crew chief, David Pearson won the NASCAR Grand National Championship. During his time as Pearson's crew chief, his chassis building business continued to grow, and it was becoming very successful. After his tenure as Pearson's crew chief ended, Dick returned to Holman-Moody as the team's general manager, a position that he held until December 1971. In January of 1972, Dick joined Eddie Pagan to form Hutcherson Pagan. The duo not only built chassis but also set about building and repairing race cars for the likes of A.J. Foyt and Darrell Waltrip on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit, along with a number of Busch Series drivers. Hutcherson and Pagan remained partners until Eddie Pagan's death in 1984. Dick then assumed full ownership of the company and continued to operate the company until he retired in the early 2000s. But Hutcherson and Pagan's brand lives on, as their parts truck can still be found at racetracks throughout the country. In retirement, Dick never lost his love for the sport and could still be found in a garage area from time to time. On November 6, 2005, Dick was traveling from Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina. Along the way, near Columbia, South Carolina, Dick suffered a heart attack. He was transported to a local hospital, where he later died. He was 73 years old. Now, to answer the question that some of you might have, why is Dick Hutcherson buried here in Grayson County, Virginia? What was his connection to the area? The short answer is, I don't know. Dick's brother, Ronald Dean Hutcherson, who passed away in 2022, is also buried here. But I really don't have any idea what their connection was to this area of Grayson County. If any of you do, please leave us a comment. Before I close out this video, I want to thank everyone for sticking with me during my longer than planned vacation. I think for the better part of the last 2 months I may have been home for a total of 10 to 12 nights, just long enough to reset, repack, and hit the road again. But I'm back now and hope I'll be back on a regular schedule for the next few weeks. I do have another trip planned for later in the fall, and I will be taking some time off around Thanksgiving and Christmas. But for now, I'm going to try to get back to processing and editing and posting regular Sunday videos. Once again, allow me to say thank you. I really appreciate your loyalty and support. Now, until next time, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.